and News 18 and Federal Bank Prime Time Studios. Viewers, we are live and we are in the thick of it. They may not be face to face, but they are within 10-kilometer radius of one another. Prime Minister Modi is in Dwarka and Arvind Kejriwal is coursing through colonies in the neighborhood as the battle for India reaches its capital, Delhi. This is the moment, viewers. This is the moment. On Saturday, Delhi votes, but the voters have a lot to contend with, a lot to think about. You all have a lot to think about if you're watching from Delhi, viewers, tonight. The capital is the bellwether. Whoever has won the city in the general election over the last 25 years has won the nation. The BJP believes it has the upper hand as the AAP lies discredited. Its image shattered, its greatest claim to fame, its clean image is tattered, ripped into by the courts and by its own actions, misplaced actions. That's what the Prime Minister is saying. He's also targeting the AAP's ally, the Congress, for betraying the secular ethos of this country, for favoring one community, for pushing the politics of appeasement beyond the brink, viewers. This is it. This is where this campaign is now going to reach an inflection point. A little over 100 seats are left on which polling will take place. Viewers, on Saturday and then again on the 1st of June. The results will be out in less than 15 days. We will know who will rule India in 15 days by 10:30, by 12:30 in the afternoon, viewers, 10:30 in the morning or 12:30 in the afternoon. But let me tell you, viewers, the election could be decided in these next two phases. Who gets more than the majority could all be decided now. This is the moment, as I began by telling you, and therefore, viewers, you have to be very careful when you go out there and press the button. You need to ascertain the facts for yourselves. You need to do a thorough background check. You need to actually figure out if the people that you're electing can be trusted, that they will actually be representatives. The BJP says because of its clean image, it has the edge. The opposition says that the BJP has led a campaign full of vendetta against them to besmirch their fair reputations. But viewers, these opposition claims are being tested and they are failing the test, unfortunately. And they are failing where? In the courts, where it matters most, before the judiciary who sits in judgment. Viewers, the Delhi High Court on Sisodia, this is what it said. It said Sisodia called for public comments on the report submitted by the expert committee, ostensibly to include views and suggestions of common citizens of Delhi and other stakeholders, but orchestrated a scheme where pre-drafted emails with suggestions aligned with his own interests were sent to designated feedback email ID of the Excise Department. Deceptive act was a calculated move to create an illusion that the excise policy was formed after careful consideration of public feedback. In reality, it was manufactured to justify his decision to formulate an excise policy in defiance of an expert panel report to enrich a few individuals. The public's voice was rendered mute. This constitutes a form of corruption. This, viewers, is the High Court just yesterday denying bail to Mr. Sisodia, who was once, of course, the number 2 in government, held the maximum number of portfolios. Breach of faith is the word that is being used. Breach of faith. Breach of trust. This is the AAP, viewers, today, being exposed in the court by the judiciary. Viewers, it's not just this matter. This matter was only one of the spokes. There is another one, a regrettable one, a one in which one of the senior most leaders of the AAP and a member of the Rajya Sabha herself was set upon, allegedly, by the henchmen, by the closest advisors of the Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. And the Metropolitan Magistrate just a couple of days back said the fact that the video footage was not found in the pen drive provided by the JE to the IO during the course of the investigation and the mobile phone was formatted by the accused. Who is the accused? That man on your screens, Mr. Bibhav. PS to Mr. Kejriwal. He says, the magistrate said that because the mobile was formatted by the accused, this in itself speaks volumes. Volumes about what, viewers? Perhaps culpability, I can't say. These developments lead us to pose some questions that right now the Prime Minister is posing. He's talking about the courts that are bludgeoning the opposition with observations that he himself has made earlier against the opposition, but the opposition haughtily rejected. Today he says those observations are being rubber-stamped by the courts, some of the highest in the land. And this prompts us certain questions, viewers. Have the Liquorgate and Assaultgate cases lowered AAP's electability? Do you still think that this party, viewers, is electable? Can the party and the Chief Minister get away by claiming political vendetta, especially when the courts are not looking favorably upon the petitions being filed for relief from the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress and others? Can the Chief Minister distance himself from both these cases, these unfortunate cases that happened under his nose? Let's open this up, viewers. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Dr. Akashdeep Muni, why should the people of Delhi vote for the Aam Aadmi Party when the courts themselves have a problem believing the AAP, have a problem believing that the AAP's various notables are completely innocent of the charges brought against them? Dr. Muni.
Scam allegations, we all know, is a political conspiracy against Aam Aadmi Party. When BJP is unable to defeat Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab and Delhi electorally, they want to crush it through Enforcement Directorate and CBI. Now, investigation is going on in really slow pace as per the Honorable Supreme Court, who says that since 2 years, the investigation is going on. 500 officers have been involved. 8 charge sheet has been filed. Still no money has been recovered. Regarding the observations of Honorable Delhi High Court, I want to tell you, the Delhi High Court in the case of the same excise scam case, in terms of Sanjay Singh, Delhi High Court said that Sanjay Singh is it was allegations made by Enforcement Director that he was a key conspirator and laundered proceeds of crime, unquote, unquote. And they have given the same proof of statement of Dinesh Arora, where he gave 2 crores.
1 second, Dr. Muni, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Very, very eloquent you are, obviously, but I think you are quoting the High Court in the wrong context there. They are only quoting what the ED said. In this matter, Justice Sharma has come to her own conclusions. And these conclusions are very, very serious. And they cast a massive question mark over Mr. Sisodia's integrity. These are not my words. The public's voice was rendered mute. This constitutes a form of corruption, manufactured to justify his decision to formulate an excise policy in defiance of an expert panel report to enrich a few individuals. That's the nub of this entire case, Dr. Ranganathan. And I'll bring in Sanju Verma right after. Let's just get Dr. Ranganathan in on this also. Yes.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Look, let's be very honest about it. Arvind Kejriwal is the fly that has settled on the fly swatter and is rubbing his 4 limbs with glee and living a charmed life. But for how long? I want to ask the supporters of AAP or their spokesperson, what were the conditions that the Supreme Court granted Mr. Kejriwal the bail? Was one of the conditions not that he will not talk about his role in the liquor scam? Was that not one of the conditions? And what has he been doing ever since he came out? He's been talking only about it. So again, I don't blame Mr. Kejriwal because that is his demeanor. Where is the Supreme Court? Perhaps it's on a summer vacation, but I mean, what this is open disregard for the law. Be that as it may. For every time anyone says that Mr. Kejriwal is innocent, Mr. Sisodia is innocent, they have to be shown not only what the High Court said about Mr. Kejriwal, that he is conspired to use the proceeds of crime, that repeatedly Mr. Sisodia has been denied bail just yesterday. Are all of them, either you say that all of them are BJP stooges, like Mamata Di is saying that everyone from ISKCON to Ramakrishna, everyone is a BJP stool. Rahul, all of us are BJP stooges, including the Supreme Court judges. But can you deny the fact what the Supreme Court said? And let me quote verbatim in case you also are going to malign the Supreme Court. The excess amount of 7% commission earned by the wholesale distributors of 338 crores constitutes, quote, an offence as defined under Section 7 of the POC Act. These are, quote and unquote, proceeds of crime. This is not me conjuring up from thin air. This is verbatim from the Supreme Court. Quote, this figure cannot be disputed or challenged. The new excise policy was meant to give windfall gains to select few wholesale distributors who in turn had agreed to give kickbacks and bribes. VAT and excise duty was payable separately. However, under the new policy, the VAT was reduced to mere 1%. Manish Sisodia was unable to provide any rational explanation for increasing commission from 5 to 12%, unquote. Now you tell me, I can make things up, Modi can make things up, Shah can make things up, Rahul can make things up. Will the Supreme Court make things up? If yes, then you say it. Say it openly, don't be scared. Say it, Professor Muni, Dr. Muni, that Supreme Court is also a BJP
Whenever you
right
let
now.
me to.
Okay,
Whenever you let
say
me
it,
to.
say it, and then I want to bring in Sanju
Okay.
Verma.
Okay. Now, Rahulji, you stopped me in between. I wanted to quote the Honorable Delhi High Court. In the Sanjay Singh case, Delhi High Court has clearly said that applicant was part of old excise policy and new excise policy was made to suit accused who were to pay kickbacks from the profits due to excise policy. So the culpability was established in terms of Sanjay Singh in Delhi High Court. The same case went to to the Honorable Supreme Court in the three-bench judge, Justice Khanna, Justice Datta, Justice Varale. Now what they said, and this is latest judgment. रंगनाथन जी, आप जो पढ़ रहे हो ना पुराना है, आप थोड़ा चेक करो. 338 करोड़ वाला पुराना है, ये लेटेस्ट वाला. I'm quoting the honorable courts. Nothing has been recovered. Please Google. Please find out. Yeah, quote unquote. Nothing has been recovered. There is no trace. And then the court says that Mr. Raju, please keep in mind that we have to observe in favor of the petitioner. This is in case Sanjay Singh. Please understand the implications of that during trial. So get instructions on whether you need their custody or not.
Okay.
This is Honorable Supreme
So
Court.
are you saying that in a case of 30 or 40 or 50 people who might be all colluders, everyone had their finger in the pie? It's possible that one or two did not, and the law has taken its course in that particular case. So what's the big deal? I don't understand. What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that the High Court is fixing all your leaders deliberately? Is that what you're trying to say?
That
no, it's a very serious charge.
Let Manish Sisodia's case go to the Honorable Supreme Court.
Let me bring in.
Let
me bring in the BJP national spokesperson Sanju Verma on that. Go ahead.
Okay, Rahul. First things first. Whether Mr. Ranganathan has read an old mail or whether Akashdeep Muni has read a new mail, that is not the point. Taking off from some of the valid points made by Mr. Ranganathan, I want to say this. On umpteen occasions, the following questions were asked of Aam Aadmi Party top brass. I'm not even talking about their unofficial spokespeople on live debates. Was the Delhi excise policy in violation of the Delhi Administration Act of 1966? The answer is yes. In violation of the NCT Act of 1991? The answer is yes. In violation of the GNCTD Act of 1993? The answer is yes. In violation of the Transaction of Business Rules 1993, the answer is yes. In violation of the Excise Duty Act of 2009, the answer is yes. In violation of the Excise Policy Rules of 2010, the answer is yes. So first and foremost, the Delhi liquor policy, which was subsequently revoked by the Aam Aadmi Party when its bluff was called was in violation of all the aforesaid acts and rules that I've just spoken about. Point number 2. When Aam Aadmi Party says that the Enforcement Directorate is a handmaiden of the Modi government, CBI is a handmaiden of the Modi government, income tax is a handmaiden of the Modi government, I want to say something to them, and I also want your audience, which is the biggest stakeholder in these kind of debates, to listen, because the moot points are these. The CAG, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, which is a constitutional body under Article 148 of the Indian Constitution, clearly said that the Delhi excise policy led to a scam of at least more than 2,875 crores. I'm not even talking of the unofficial figures, which range from 6,000 to 9,000 crores, what have you.
Okay.
So point number 2 is this: CAG is a constitutional body, not a handmaiden of the Modi government. The Income Tax Act was set up while the CBDT Act, the Income Tax Department, was set up while the CBDT Act of 1963, which means that the Income Tax Department is also largely a statutory body and has said that in violation of FCRA norms, the Aam Aadmi Party took overseas donations of more than 7 crore. Point number 3. The Enforcement Directorate was a statutory body way back in 1963-64. But come 2003, the Central Vigilance Commission made the Enforcement Directorate more empowered, and today the ED has the powers of a civil court. Point number 4, the NIA, which has also come under criticism from various quarters, is also a statutory body while the NIA Act of 2008, and the CBI is also a statutory independent body while the DPSC, Delhi Police Service Establishment Act of 1946. The limited point I'm trying to make is when you cast aspersions at the ED, the CBI, the NIA, the income tax, you are casting aspersions at the constitution, and then you have the audacity, when I say you, I mean this entire cabal, have the audacity to say, हम तो जी संविधान की सुरक्षा के लिए वोट मांगने जा रहे हैं.
Viewers.
Last point, please just bear with me for 10 seconds. My last point is this. As Mr. Ranganathan said, in any crime, there are 3 things which are very, very important, which need to be established: malafide intent, proceeds of crime, and most importantly, whether there was a violation of due process of law in some or the other form. And let me tell you, 338 crore worth of money trail has been tentatively established, is what Justice Sanjeev Khanna said in October 2023, and it still holds valid. You have been bullying Justice Sanjeev Khanna when he does not give you bail.
What did Dr. Muni say? What did Dr. Muni say? Muni said that when this matter reaches the Supreme Court, then we'll see. Because you see, the High Court took a dim view of Sanjay Singh, and when the matter reached the Supreme Court, then it was okay. Well, viewers, the Sisodia matter has reached the Supreme Court not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yes.
On March 14, 2024, the CGI, the Chief Justice of India-led bench, dismissed Sisodia's curative plea seeking bail in the Delhi excise case, the same case, also called the Liquorgate scam. A few months before that, on December 13, 2023, the SC again dismissed the review petition filed by Mr. Sisodia seeking bail. On October 30th, 2 months prior to that, now we've gone back, viewers, at least 6 months, the SC dismissed the bail plea of Mr. Sisodia, and this is what the SC said at that time. The SC noted that the existing excise policy was changed to facilitate and get kickbacks and bribes from the wholesale distributors by enhancing their commission/fee from 5% under the old policy to 12% under the new policy. Accordingly, doctor, please pay attention. Doctor, I'm not talking about Dr. Ranganathan, he paid a lot of attention, but Dr. Muni. Dr. Muni,
I'm with you.
Please, you be with me. Otherwise, there'll be a little bit of a communication gap, would there not be? It said, now be ready. A conspiracy was hatched to carefully draft the new policy, deviating from the expert opinion/views to create an ecosystem to ensure unjust enrichment of the wholesale distributors at the expense of government exchequer or the consumer or you and I, viewers, the taxpayer. And what was said yesterday? Exactly the same thing in just a few different words. Exactly the same thing with two more words attached, breach of trust. Viewers, do you want to elect people who breached your trust? That's the fundamental question. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan comes in. Dr. Muni right after. Yes.
Yes, no, you've thoroughly exposed my dear friend Dr. Muni, although I have great regard for him, by quoting the Supreme Court judgment. At no point did the recent Supreme Court judgment counter what it said earlier. So Dr. Muni was deliberately trying to muddy the water, but be that as it may, I want to ask a very simple question to Dr. Muni. Very simple. Dr. Muni, it's a yes and no question. Ever since Mr. Kejriwal came out on his bail, has he or has he not talked about the liquor scam? Yes or no?
There is no point answering it. Please go ahead with your statement. It's a rhetorical question. Please go ahead with the statement.
I think it's a factual question. Rhetorical क्या मतलब हुआ?
Rhetorical जिसका आंसर पहले से लोगों को पता है.
क्या? That means he has.
आप पहले आप बोलो तो आप अपना स्टेटमेंट करो. आप मेरे पीछे क्यों पड़े हो? आप मुझे मैं जब आपको आंसर दूंगा मैं तो आपको बोलता हूँ 338 करोड़ पहले आया था ना. मैं तो वो पूछ रहा हूँ कि 338 करोड़ वाला मैंने जो बोला कि ना कि वो पुराना है. आप एक्नॉलेज कर लो कि ना कि हाँ वो पुराना था. आपने मुझे सही कर दिया.
आज तक मैं किसी के पीछे नहीं पड़ा. मैं आज तक सिर्फ अपनी बीवी के पीछे पड़ा था, वो भी 25 साल पहले. आप प्लीज फिक्र ना करिए इस मामले में. आई वाज जस्ट ट्राइंग टू आस्क यू अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन.
बट डॉक्टर रंगनाथन, आप तो आगे रहते हैं, पीछे तो कभी नहीं रहे. आप तो आगे रहते हैं. यू आर वन स्टेप अहेड एवरी टाइम. So now, hang on, just a minute. Dr. Muni, hang on. Dr. Muni, let me come back. Let me come back to you. Let me come back to you. Okay, one second.
आप एक कवर फाइल मत दीजिए, रुक जाइए एक मिनट. उन्होंने वो पूछा ना, तब तो आप रुक जाए. Nothing has been recovered. There is no trace. ये बोला था कि नहीं बोला था जस्टिस खन्ना ने?
अरे भाई, उनके से नहीं रिकवर हुआ. गलत नंबर डायल हो गया वहां पर, कोई बात नहीं. बट मिस्टर सिसोदिया के खिलाफ तो नहीं हुआ ना. मिस्टर सिसोदिया के खिलाफ तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने. डॉक्टर मुनी, डॉक्टर मुनी, डॉक्टर मुनी, what is the point you're making? I'm not understanding. Dr. Muni, in a 1 second. Okay, let's calm down. Let's calm down.
Ranganathan ji, do you agree with me or not? Yes,
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Please boost his audio. I can't hear him. 1 second.
Ranganathan ji, nothing has been recovered. There is no trace.
1 second. That was in connection with Sanjay Singh. Hello.
This was in connection with excise scam.
No. Sorry, sir. Yes, sorry. Yes, no. You can't just muddy. No. You can't muddy and get away. Then why is Mr. Sisodia being denied bail?
Can I ask?
No, 1 second. Why is he being denied bail?
I'll tell you. You have asked this question. Now let me answer. Now, bear with me for the answer. Okay. Honorable Supreme Court says in terms of Manish Sisodiya case, and I'm quoting the Honorable Supreme Court, Manish Sisodiya case has findings in favor and against him. So, at present, the Honorable Supreme Court
1 second, let him finish.
In favor
you can come in.
And against him also. So when it comes to the Honorable Supreme Court,
so what is against him? So I guess 1 second, viewers. This is very important. What is against Mr. Sisodia? Let me tell you now. Let me read it out to you again. Because you see, viewers, I don't want to waste your time. The court noted, I'm talking about the Supreme Court, that the existing excise policy was changed to facilitate and get kickbacks and bribes from the wholesale distributors by enhancing their commission fee from 5% under the old policy to 12% under the new policy. Accordingly, a conspiracy was hatched to carefully draft the new policy, deviating from the expert opinion views to create an ecosystem to ensure unjust enrichment of the wholesale distributors at the expense of government exchequer or the consumer. The illegal income, proceed of crime, as per the DOE, would partly be recycled and returned in the form of bribes, the Supreme Court noted. The probe agency, of course, viewers, as we know, has alleged that Vijay Nair, who was a middleman, a go-between, a member of the AAP and a co-confidant of the appellant Manish Sisodia, had interacted with a large number of those individuals, the licensees, to frame the excise policy on conditions and terms put forth and to the satisfaction and desire of the liquor group. This tells you, viewers, that Manish Sisodia was right in the middle of it.
I
What's the
would make
meaning
a
of
quick
allegations.
point.
These are not allegations. This is the court's finding, the
allegations,
determination
sir.
on
The
the basis
trial-
of what.
trial has not started,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
The
Fine.
trial has not
Let us now continually to brush away the facts. Okay, fair enough. That's your call, sir. The people of Delhi are watching. I have brought out 3 facts. Yes, Sanju Verma.
Thank you. Rahul, I think you've reinforced this, on umpteen occasions in the last 23 minutes alone. But for the benefit of your audience, let me clearly say one thing. If you're jumping around and saying that democracy khatre mein nahi hai because Sanjay Singh is out on bail, if you're saying democracy khatre mein nahi hai simply because Arvind Kejriwal is on, out on interim bail and not because of the merits of the case, but simply because of exceptional circumstances and a general election being underway, then you have to also give credit to the same Supreme Court, which has in no uncertain terms on various occasions, and the Delhi High Court and the Trial Court and the CBI Special Judge, who have all held that Manish Sisodia was one of the key linchpins. Manish Sisodia deliberately, flagrantly violated prudential norms while formulating an excise policy which led to quid pro quo between him and Amit Arora, between Aam Aadmi Party and Dinesh Arora, between Arvind Kejriwal and Vijay Nair, between Arvind Kejriwal and Sameer Mahendru, between Arvind Kejriwal and Sunny Marwa, between Arvind Kejriwal and Amandeep Dhal, between Arvind Kejriwal and the South Group, between Arvind Kejriwal and K. Kavita,
Okay,
between Arvind Kejriwal and Arun Ramchandra Pillai. इसलिए यहाँ बैठकर ढकोसलेबाजी मत कीजिए. Money trail has been established,
viewers,
proceeds of crime established, mana fide intent established.
big breaking news. Okay, big breaking news coming in connection with these entire 2 stories, viewers, that I've highlighted. Swati Maliwal has come out and made a statement against the Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. And she has come out and made certain pointed observations. And let us put those out because, viewers, this is a big development. Swati Maliwal says, and let me tell you and read it straight out from her tweet, after unleashing the entire army of leaders and volunteers at me, calling me a BJP agent, assassinating my character, leaking edited videos, victim shaming me, roaming around with the accused, letting him re-enter the crime scene and tamper evidences and protesting in favor of the accused, the Chief Minister in whose drawing room I was beaten up, has finally said that he wants free and fair investigation in the matter. Irony died 1,000 deaths. I don't buy this one a bit. Now, Dr. Muni, the court said, with regards to Mr. Bibhav, the fact that the video footage was not found in the pen drive provided by the JE to the IO during the course of the investigation and the mobile phone was formatted by the accused speaks volumes. अब ये भी आप कहेंगे कि ये भी cooked up है. Dr. Muni, what is Bibhav hiding? There, in Sisodia's case, he was manufacturing opinions to suit X and Y, according to the courts. Here, the other gentleman, I don't know if I can call him gentle, but certainly, in this context, he's been accused of violence, so he's clearly not gentle. So let's call him Mr. Bibhav. Mr. Bibhav, sir, Dr. Muni, ab mujhe aap bataiye, why was he busy formatting his phone after providing some videos from that very phone? क्या हुआ ये बताइए.
राहुल जी, मैं आपको 2 चीज बताना चाहूंगा. मैंने आपके शो पे ही कल या परसों बोला था कि ना कि अब 25 तारीख तक एक के बाद दूसरे कमेंट्स आते रहेंगे. स्वाति मालीवाल जी का कमेंट आएगा और कुछ किया जाएगा, क्योंकि ना कि इलेक्शंस हैं और इलेक्शंस जब तक चलेंगे ये सारे कमेंट्स आते रहेंगे. अब कमिंग बैक टू द सीसीटीवी फुटेज थिंग, the CCTV footage is manned by people belonging to Delhi police in CM House. The Delhi police came.
Hang on. Just a minute, viewers. This is not going to cut ice. Let me tell you, Dr. Muni, this is not going to cut ice. Sorry. Do you believe? Just 1 second. Do you read the Indian Express? Do you believe that it is one of those newspapers that is part, according to you, of the Godi media? Yes or no?
Sir, I don't think anything called Godi media.
So viewers, listen to me. Viewers, listen to me. Even a newspaper like the Express, that is not charitable towards the Modi government, has come out and counseled the Aam Aadmi Party on this issue, saying it is on the wrong foot here. Viewers, issue after issue, issue after issue, the AAP finds itself on the wrong foot. Is this a coincidence? Is this all a vendetta? This time, Swati Maliwal came out, said something against her own boss, her mentor, her what have you. What had it got to do with the BJP? Nothing. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan,
Exactly.
very quickly, I'll take a break right after that. Yes.
I think the hypocrisy of this is what is stunning. I mean, here we have Mr. Kejriwal, who was expressly asked by the Supreme Court not to talk about his involvement in the liquor scam once he gets out on bail.
True.
He's been doing just that. But the same Mr. Kejriwal who accused Modi of silence on Manipur and on Brij Bhushan is totally silent on this for a week.
Well,
this is the same Ms. Swati Maliwal, who is his own party's Rajya Sabha MP. I mean, the mind boggles, Rahul.
well, viewers, it's you at the end of the day. If this liquor scam investigation and it's proven in court, it's you who've lost out, no one else. Think about that when you go to press the button. I'm not saying much. I'll take a short break. We'll be right back in a minute or so. Big story. Don't go away.
But now let's take you into a zoomed in visual of exactly this. So this is the thermal camera's version of exactly what we just showed you. Take a look over here. Remember the temperature we told you, 33 degrees that day. But as you can see, in different parts of this image, the street worker actually being exposed to much higher temperatures. This is a street vendor in particular. As you can see over here, temperatures soaring all the way up to 45.8, where it gets really, really light, as you can see. And what's that central focus lens? Over here, the lens shows us 31.6. You'll see the central circle on each of the images. That's the focus of the camera. So around this street vendor, as you can see, the temperature is still a little better. It's 31 degrees, but right over here, everywhere where there is cemented parts, it's rising up to 45.8. So as we told you, this image coming in from India Gate. Let's move on from this to our next image. Our next image comes to you from Nehru Place. Let's just take a look at it after this. Nehru Place open over here, as you can see. This is an image. Nehru Place, remember, is just a few kilometers. It's about half an hour away from everything else we were showing you. India Gate, for example. And we wanted to show you that even half an hour away, it's the same picture. It's 33 degrees over here. And still, as you can see, this is what it looks like to the normal eye. So there are umbrellas, as you can see here, that are covering the entire space up for people. Let's just very quickly, let me walk you over to the heat thermal version of this. Under the umbrellas, it's actually not that cool. Can you tell that even though there are umbrellas there, look over here, the yellow parts, as you can see over here, very, very little purple. So it's not actually getting much cooler for the street vendors who are under the umbrellas. It's still really hot because the entire area in Nehru Place has these cemented grounds. This is what Greenpeace...
You're with the Hard Facts, viewers, from the CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studios. Viewers, two phases are still to go, but the Congress ecosystem is euphoric. They've declared victory for the India bloc. They believe that the Congress just needs 45 seats to knock NDA out. The assumption is that these 45 seats will sit neatly atop the 52 seats the Congress won in 2019. But in politics, remember, 2 plus 2 doesn't always make 4. What if the Congress can't retain the 52 seats it won in 2019? What use will be the next 54 or 45 or 32 or 38 seats be in that consequence, in that probability? Is this possible? Can the Congress squander some of those seats that it won in 2019? As few as those seats were, yes, it is. But first, let's hear the Congress party's leading lights write the obituary of the NDA. Listen in first.
मुझे नहीं लग रहा है कि उनको 180-200 से ज़्यादा मिलेगी। नरेंद्र मोदी जी प्रधानमंत्री नहीं होंगे। बहुत अच्छा चुनाव होगा हमारा, इंडिया की सरकार बनेगी।
इंडिया गठबंधन के पार्टियों को स्पष्ट और निर्णायक जनादेश अभी मिलना तय हो गया।
What we're hearing out of Bihar, what we're hearing out of Bengal, what we're hearing even out of a couple of places in Gujarat is not good news for the government and the NDA. So our Atmavishwas has gone up even further. We are absolutely in a positive trajectory going into the last 2 weeks of this campaign.
Congress definitely, our alliance members together will stop Modi coming to power. So we'll get more than 273.
He says they'll get more than 273. The Congress is only contesting about 320 odd seats. That means its strike rate to get to 100 will have to be 1:3, viewers. It's simple maths. Simple maths. But viewers, forget 100. Can Congress even get the 2019 tally of 52? That's fundamental. Let's have a look at that. Fact 1, 2019. 60% of 52 seats won by Congress from only 3 states. Kerala 15 seats, Tamil Nadu 8 seats, Punjab 8 seats. Viewers, it's a simple takeaway. Will be difficult for the Congress to retain all these seats as it is fighting allies, AAP in Punjab and the CPM in Kerala. Then there is another fact that can make it difficult for the Congress to retain even the 52 seats it won. In 2019, 20 out of the 52 seats, or rather viewers, let me be absolutely exact, 19 out of the 52 seats were won by the Congress by less than 5% margin. 36%, the takeaway is that 36% of the Congress wins in 2019 are in seats that can be characterized as swing seats and thus susceptible to flux, viewers. Think about that. Fact 3. In 2019, the Congress won only 15 contests against the BJP, securing an average of 35% vote share. And here's the takeaway on the back of that, viewers. Even the seats it won by defeating the BJP were won by narrow margins. What's stopping the BJP from winning them back? Some of the margins, viewers, were less than 1%, at least on 5 seats. And a large number of others, as I've just told you, were under 5%. That takes us to fact 4. Congress, viewers, has only 51 strong seats that it won in 2 or all 3 of the last 3 Lok Sabha elections. So we are talking about 15 years. It has only won 51 seats, either all the 3 elections or in 2 elections. Viewers, which means that the Congress has fewer short seats that it can hope to retain. Big problem. Some of those seats are within the 51. Fact 5. 309 seats not won by the Congress in the last 3 Lok Sabha polls. In 309 seats, it has never won in 15 years. What's the takeaway? The Congress has a very small catchment area to make up losses in the 52 seats it won in 2019. Unless, viewers, this is a massive wave election. Is there a wave election? Are you seeing the wave? Even those people who are not well disposed to the BJP at the center or the NDA in particular have said this is not a wave election. There is no anti-Modi wave and neither is there a big pro-Modi wave, they say. So, viewers, how is this going to turn around for the Congress? Fact 6, 24 of the 51 seats won by the Congress in 2019 are in the South. What's the takeaway? Congress will need to not just make up for potential losses in Kerala and Andaman by winning more seats in the South, but also it will need to win in the North. And here, viewers, is the problem, and that brings me to fact 7. Congress will have to reduce the BJP strike rate in the North. In 2019, BJP won 153 out of the 175 direct fights. Most of them were in the North against the Congress. The takeaway is that the Congress will have to overcome big vote share differential to wrest seats from the BJP. And let me give you an example, viewers. Even if by some dint, 5% of the vote the Congress was to gain in this election, and that 5% was directly subtracted from the BJP in direct contests, the vote share loss for the BJP will yield Congress just 45 seats and cost the BJP 32 seats. The takeaway there, viewers, is that even reducing a 5% vote share from BJP will only yield Congress incremental gains. So forget about 272 viewers, forget about 100. The Congress has a problem retaining the 52 and then adding some more. Remember what Mamata Banerjee said? She said they're not even going to get 40. Maybe she was prophetic, I don't know. Maybe that's why she didn't join hands with the Congress in Bengal. She just didn't trust the Congress to do its share of the heavy lifting. Let's open this up. Let's go straight across to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, you've written an article. You've also put some facts. Some of them, unfortunately, skip over these inconvenient ones. Why? Why do you skip over these inconvenient ones? You say at the end of your piece, which was written for a particular magazine, you say that, look, all it needs is a 40 plus. That's it. As if the 52 are in the back. The 52 are not even in the back, Sanjay Jha. I've shown you the reasons for it.
Rahul, I think if you read my piece written for The Wire carefully, you will find that it actually puts hard data. I haven't, and I'm not going to come on your program and speak in one breathless monologue, facts and data that cannot be fact-checked. But I'm going to put some hard realities for you even today.
Please.
My whole entire, shall we say, assessment is based on electoral performance. And you answered it yourself by actually putting out one very important fact on your program, where you said that the Congress's hit rate was just 8% in 2019 and probably around 9 or 10% in 2014. Either way, a very subpar performance. And that is the only critical variable you need to look at the moment. And I'll tell you why. I have focused on the BJP versus the Congress contest. And today, if the Congress were to win 40 seats more, it will still be getting only a 25% hit rate. You need to understand that. It will not be an astonishing performance. It need not be an astounding performance. But it is enough to bring the BJP to its knees and make sure that the BJP does not form the government.
Okay.
I therefore started my example by telling you that in 2004, the Congress got 145 Lok Sabha seats. The BJP had 138.
Yes, sir.
But the Congress formed the government and the BJP did not.
Yes, sir.
So the Congress does not have to be spectacular. It needs to be just about average to knock the BJP off completely from the sweepstakes. And I'm predicting that is going to happen on June 4th.
Okay. So, Sanjay Jha, you said all it needs to do is to win 40 more. 40 more
40,
of what?
50, whatever.
Of what number?
40, 50.
40 of what? No, I'm going by your article. You said
I've gone
40.
by-
So stick to that number. 40 of what?
Right.
What other number? 40
Okay,
of
now-
what?
Let me explain to you.
Huh.
Let me explain to you. I haven't included in the direct contest the seats in Tamil Nadu or the seats in
You're
Kerala.
not getting me, sir. You're not getting me.
No,
40
let me
of
finish,
what?
I'll explain to you.
40 sits
Okay.
atop what?
Okay, let me explain to you. If you read my article carefully, if you can just kind of read it out right now, I've also mentioned the states from where the BJP is losing them to the Congress.
Sir, that you haven't given any reasons for. You have said
Maharashtra.
word is coming through. That is what you have written. अब हवा में तो सभी बात कर लेते हैं ना. But my point is,
it's for
Sanjay
you,
Jha, you said
for you.
40 on top of what? 40 on top of what should they win?
Well, the assumption is very clear that the Congress is doing very well in Kerala. I know that. Everybody knows it. It's going to do very well
Everyone
in
doesn't.
Tamil
The
Nadu.
CPIM
The
doesn't think
state
so.
did done well.
Your own ally. Anyhow, okay, let me just bring in Dr. Birendra Chaudhary. Fair enough. Again, we are being a little speculative, which I don't like. This is a hard facts back show. Viewers, I have put the numbers out. You can challenge them. Dr. Birendra Chaudhary has numbers.
Based on data.
He's a deep diving. No, but you've taken figures, sir. Very speculative to say when you add the vote shares of both the Congress and the BJP, they don't exceed 50%. And, for that reason, well, you can just look at numbers of the BJP, viewers. In one particular state, it was at 17% and then it went to 40%. In Tripura, it went from almost 0 to another 50% number. So the BJP actually does astronomically add vote share. It has done it repeatedly. What is to stop it crossing 50% this time? I don't know. But nonetheless, look, everyone has a point of view. But I don't know what you're adding the 40 to. And that is the problem, because I presume you would add it to the 52 it had already won. But we don't know if it's going to win the 52. The 52
Rahul,
itself look a little unpredictable. Now, hang on. Let me get Dr.
Just
Chaudhary in.
one last line and I'm done.
Arey, sir.
I'm talking about only Congress performance. If you
Okay,
include
I understand. That's what I'm talking about. This whole program is on that. The Congress. The Congress. I'll be only looking at the Congress counter on June 4. Okay, one second. Dr. Birendra Chaudhary, ये कह रहे हैं कि भाई 40 और किस पर? 52, 52 कहां से आएंगे? पहले ये आप बता दीजिए, वो आएंगे भी?
नमस्कार। देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए हमने 2 आंकड़े निकाले हैं और ये आंकड़े मेरा नहीं है, इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया का है जो कांग्रेस को मिला है। यदि 52 सीट्स जो कांग्रेस ने जीता है उसमें हमने ये किया है नंबर क्रंचिंग कि 5% से कम पे जो सीट जीता है वो सीट बनता है 2019 का 19 सीट, यानी 19 सीट आउट ऑफ 52 कांग्रेस ने जीता, जिसका विक्ट्री मार्जिन है 5% से कम। और इसमें 5% से कम में 19 सीट किसके खिलाफ है वो सुनिए आप। बीजेपी 8, जेडीयू 1, सीपीएम 4, एसएडी 2, बीजेडी 1, टीआरएस 3। ये तो हो गया 52 का आंकड़ा। अब देखिए कि कांग्रेस जो 209 सीट 2019 लोकसभा चुनाव में रनर अप थे, उस रनर अप में भी मैंने क्या किया है कि 5% से जो लॉस मार्जिन कम था उसका सीट निकाला है, वो सीट बनता है 18। उस 18 में बीजेपी का 12 है, एनडीपीपी नागालैंड जो बीजेपी का एलआई है 1, टीआरएस 2, एसएडी 1, सीपीएम 1, एनसीपी 1। और बेस्ट केस सिनेरियो में संजय जी, यदि मैं ये 5% को अदला बदली करता हूं तो मैक्सिमम कांग्रेस का बनता है हमारे अनुमान के हिसाब से 51 सीट। 51 मींस कि 2019 के आंकड़े से भी कम सीट मिलेगा। और साथ ही 3 सीट में वो जोड़ना चाहूंगा जो कांग्रेस की संभावना ना के बराबर है। वो सीट कौन सा है वो भी जानना चाहेंगे। क्या आपको लगता है कि पटियाला से महारानी साहिबा अब बीजेपी के टिकट पर चुनाव लड़ रही हैं, हारेंगी? सिंहभूम, जहां पर जो वहां के जो फॉर्मर मधु कोड़ा की पत्नी, लास्ट टाइम एक ही सीट मिला था कांग्रेस को, गीता कोड़ा, वो गीता कोड़ा बीजेपी से लड़ रही हैं। क्या आपको लगता है कि वहां से कांग्रेस अब जीत पाएगी? एक सीट और है आपका बेंगलोर रूरल। मैं शुरू से कह रहा हूं कि वहां से डीके शिव कुमार का भाई सुरेश कुमार लड़ रहे हैं। आपको पता होगा कि अब की बार बीजेपी ने किसको उतारा है? डॉक्टर मंजुनाथ। डॉक्टर मंजुनाथ कर्नाटक के सबसे बड़े कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट हैं, मुफ्त में इलाज करते हैं।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि 51 से भी 3 कम हो गए लाइव टीवी पे,
तो 51 भी नहीं बनता,
48 हो गया। ओके डॉक्टर रंगनाथन,
51 में भी मुझे संदेह है।
ओके डॉक्टर रंगनाथन,
कुछ तो, अरे चौधरी जी कुछ तो कर दीजिए। Look, Rahul, I have nothing against political parties and their slogans. For BJP, the slogan is "Ab ki baar 400 par." For Congress, it was "Ab ki baar 40 par." But I have great objection to चौधरी साहब, वहां से भी और कम कर रहे हैं तो बेचारे वो जैसे प्रेम चोपड़ा कहता है नंगा नहाएगा क्या निचोड़ेगा क्या। But as far as my good friend Sanjay Jain's data is concerned, I want to show this sterling, stunning, splendid data that was collected by the same Mr. Sanjay Jha. If you can't read this, I can, yeah. Please save this tweet. Yeah, Congress will be the single largest party in 2014 and will lead a coalition comfortably above the majority. This is how much Sanjay Jha and data go together.
Well,
Rahul, why do you want to make this program?
No. Okay. Look. I'm wrapping out. Okay. I'm wrapping out. Look, the point is, viewers, I'm wrapping out. The point is, viewers, we are coming back to another big story, but the point is that the Congress has to do the heavy lifting. Can it? Or is it standing on a wobbly stool? Fundamental question.
Study This is a second image that's come in from Nehru Place right here in Delhi. Let's go back to Sonal. I believe she has one last set of images to show you. Let's go to her.
Yeah, and which were the areas which were actually cooling down a little bit? Let's show you that. Now, the coolest image that they found was perhaps this, right under a tree. Look at how all the places which have not been sort of getting the shade of the tree is what burns up over here. There are pops over here. But largely saying that the minute you come under the shadow of the tree, it gets so much more cooler. So what's the message here? I think we all get it by now. It is that we need more greener pastures to sort of survive all of this as well. But while talking about this, how much of a difference really does good tree coverage make? That seems to be one of the messages that is coming out. And this particular image is coming to us from Connaught Place, one of those areas in the NDMA region in the area where there are a lot more trees. So let's try and see how many people can actually, if you see this image, it's quite interesting how many people are all huddled up under that tree as well.
So the big difference, as we can see, that plant cover makes, that's really the point Sonal has brought home. All of these numbers are from when the temperatures were still 33 degrees in early May. Remember, right now the temperature is 42 degrees. And to tell you more, we've already got with us right here in studio my colleague Shrishti. She'll break this down for us. But Sonal, what exactly will she be telling us about right now?
Right, Shrishti is here with us. Shrishti, hello and welcome to TBC. We always come to you when we've got some heated things to sort of decode. So this is another one really. The question on everybody's mind when we see pictures like these really burning up, feeling the heat ourselves as well, is how long will it last? Have we seen the worst of it just yet?
Right, good morning Sonal. So like we know, these heat waves have been prevailing over northwest India for a couple of days now. In fact, they started over Gujarat around 15th of May, but northwest India started getting impacted by these heat.
Viewers, it's my misfortune to bring you this story, but it is a pressing story. It's a super fast playing out in the favor of the super rich, the super connected in Pune. A 15-hour free pass was given to the rich brat who mowed down two hard-working youth. In those 15 hours, he was bought burgers, biryani and other treats. In those 15 hours, he was allowed to nap. In those 15 hours, the alcohol level in his blood would have lowered considerably, and even after all the outcry, there hasn't been any action taken against the police for alleged collusion. The Juvenile Justice Board for its shocking leniency, or to be honest, even the pub owners who should have denied entry and liquor to the underage Porsche driving, money-throwing, spoilt brat. It now turns out that the parent of this entitled minx even stuffed his pocket with oodles of cash so that he could splurge 48,000 rupees, imagine that, in 90 minutes in two nightclubs. For this shocking license to drink himself silly and pose a danger to the well-being of other unsuspecting citizens, the father will only get a maximum jail sentence of 3 years. Two people are dead. Imagine that, viewers, 3 years. But more than this, I want to ask you, viewers, could this privileged abomination have been shown so many favors without somebody pulling the strings from the back? Namely a politician, names already doing the rounds. And there are others who have revealed the family may even have connections to the underworld. The system is rotten, and it is likely to stay that way until and unless the collaborators are punished, the patron netas, the police, the members of the JJB, the pub owners, the vigilance sense of the excise licensing department, and most importantly, the perpetrators, viewers. We are watching. CNN News 18 is following this story right to its logical conclusion. We leave it at that.
17th of May, and as you can see here on the map, the entire northwest India is especially red. So red indicates that the temperatures are high, more than 40 degrees Celsius. But if you see some spots which are slightly darker than more, these indicates that the temperatures have risen beyond 45 degrees Celsius. It's important for our readers to understand that the temperatures usually remain above 43 degrees Celsius in May. But this time what we are experiencing is that they are remaining above 45 degrees Celsius for an unusually longer period of time. So if you can see Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan as well as Western UP, even Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, these are the red zones, and that is why the weather department has also issued a red warning for these states at least till 24th of May, and yesterday they have extended these warnings to 25th May as well. Now these severe heat waves are declared when the temperature is even more than 45 degrees Celsius and it's 4.5 to 6.5 degrees Celsius above normal. So that really indicates how the unbearable heat waves are really taking a toll on the entire northwest India.
Story today is one we've already felt outside, the heat wave. As we speak, the IMD's issued a red alert to several parts of the country. The key advice you're going to hear again and again is stay indoors. But almost 75% of India's workforce has to stay outside. They're dependent on heat-exposed labor. A new survey that we actually have visuals of opened up right behind us right now. These are visuals coming in from different parts of right here in New Delhi. We'll give you a deeper dive into what each
eyes in the world. Join me, Nalin Mehta, for the most dynamic and distinctive coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Har ghar pipes in a second, but this new survey suggests that it's actually even hotter outside than it actually seems.
That's right. So on TBC, we thought we'll show you some super interesting pictures. You've just seen a glimpse of it. This is a survey done by Greenpeace. And in this heat map, it sort of tells you what the thermal imaging camera can actually detect. Different parts of the city is detecting different sort of spots and telling you which are which are the hottest, some which are getting cooler as we speak. So let's start with this one that we have for you over here. Now what you see here is Khan Market with a thermal camera. What you see is different levels of color. The color coding here suggests that yellow over here, you see that mark over here is the hottest, and then they go into the cooler zone. Now what's interesting here? Let me try and mark a couple of it.
Halt the Modi juggernaut. Join me, Nistula Hebbar, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equals CNN News 18.
If you see the exposed land, all of that, the hottest, no-brainer, right? But look at little shelters. Every time somebody comes under the umbrella, the shades start to get cooler over there. This probably looks like a shade or a tree. That's the reason why this area is also looking much cooler. So this indeed telling you, and this guy, you can barely see an imaging, burning up in heat over here because of the exposure. And the minute there is a little of a shade, it begins to get a little cooler. And Toya there has more images for you.
Right, so that's one set of visuals coming in. As we just showed you, these were visuals coming in from Khan Market. But next, we have this visual coming in from India Gate. So remember, for each image, we're showing you first what it looks like to the naked eye. So when you're looking at it, these are visuals that have come in from India Gate. Remember, all of these visuals are coming in from the 1st of May. The temperature on the 1st of May in Delhi was 33 degrees. This is what you would have seen in India Gate, the pavilion in front. You can see the plants, the trees on one side, and right in the center you...
Third term dream achievable? Join me, Shapun Das Gupta, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equal CNN News 18.
Co-powered by the person who's selling bhel. But now let's take you into a zoomed-in visual of exactly this. So this is the thermal camera's version of exactly what we just showed you. Take a look over here. Remember the temperature we told you, 33 degrees that day. But as you can see, in different parts of this image, the street worker actually being exposed to much higher temperatures. This is a street vendor in particular. As you can see over here, temperatures soaring all the way up to 45.8, where it gets really light, as you can see. And what's that central focus lens? Over here, the lens shows us 31.6. You'll see the central circle on each of the images. That's the focus of the camera. So around this street vendor, as you can see, the temperature is still a little better, it's 31 degrees, but right over here, everywhere where there is cemented parts, it's rising up to 45.8. So as we told you, this image coming in from India Gate. Let's move on from this to our next image. Our next image comes to you from Nehru Place. Let's just take a look at it after this. Nehru Place open over here, as you can see. This is an image. Nehru Place, remember, is just a few kilometers. It's about half an hour away from everything else we were showing you. India Gate, for example. And we wanted to show you that even half an hour away, it's the same.
The CNN News 18 and Federal Bank Primetime Studio.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsimhan, coming to you live from the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studios. And ladies and gentlemen, we turn the spotlight towards Bengal because what's happened in the courts today is significant. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been speaking about the OBC quota, backward classes quota, being used by political parties like the Congress and the Trinamool to favor one particular community or religious denomination. Backward classes can be from any community, but the qualification is socio-economic, ladies and gentlemen. Economic backwardness, educational backwardness, social backwardness. And that's being brazenly misused by certain political entities across states. And he's been at this throughout phase 2, 3, 4 and 5 and even